most people contract when they hear the word money, that means that you're living in a lack mindset. And being in a lack mindset with money is just like being in a lack mindset with your health and fitness. And it's just a habit that you have to get out of.
Welcome to Marketing and Mindset for Wellness Coaches, the podcast for health coaches and wellness entrepreneurs just like you who are building a business, making the world a healthier place, and designing a first-class life. I'm your host, Kim Foster, MD and certified business coach, and I'm on a mission to help you up-level your strategy and raise your mindset so you can truly thrive and grow your business. Let's get started. So who wants to talk about money? Actually, I'm curious, what was your reaction when I said the word money? Was it a positive reaction? Was it a negative reaction? And what thoughts came up for you even at the mention of money? If your reaction to the topic of money was less than super positive, then this episode is definitely for you. Today, I'm talking with Lisa Holtan, who is a health, money mindset, and business coach, and she specializes in helping entrepreneurs go from a lack mindset to an abundance mindset when it comes to money. In our chat, we talk about all kinds of things around money mindset and how to step into a mindset of abundance, including exactly why it's so important to do this work even before you're really making any money in your business. In fact, especially if you're not making any money in your business yet. This stuff is so incredibly powerful, and you definitely want to leverage the specific tips and strategies that Lisa talks about during our conversation. Okay, let's dive in. Today on the podcast, I am super excited to be chatting with Lisa Holtan. Lisa is a health, money mindset, and business coach, and she helps women to build their dream life of happiness, abundance, and freedom. And I am so here for that. So welcome to the podcast, Lisa.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I am really looking forward to this conversation. I am excited to talk to you about the super juicy topic of money mindset. It really is one of my favorite things to talk about. And I know that my listeners are excited to hear about this too. But before we dive into all of that, I would love for you just to tell us a bit more about your story. I'd love for you to share a bit about what brought you to the work that you're doing now.
Yeah, so my story is really all about the pivot. So I started, just like most people did, after high school, going to college and trying to figure out what I should do. And I didn't really know what to do with my life. So I went into business because honestly, all I wanted to do with my life was dress up and go to meetings and tell people what to do. So
That's awesome. I love it.
Once I got into like corporate America, it just didn't feel right. Like I didn't like the backstabbing and the climbing of the ladder and the having to do things in a certain way. So I decided to do something that I truly love, which is health and fitness. So I went back to school for nutrition and personal training. So then I started working in gyms and I did all of it. Like I did nutrition coaching, personal training, group exercise. I taught in big gyms, small gyms, boutique gyms. And then in 2011, I decided to do online personal training, which at that time was not a thing. Like nobody did online training at that time. So I did that. And then in 2014, I decided I really want to help my community. So instead of just being online, I think I want to open my own gym. And it had always been like a dream of mine to open my own gym. So in 2014, I opened my gym, Bodyworks.
Wow.
And it was amazing and frustrating and everything that comes with being a brick and mortar owner. And throughout that time, I really grew a lot personally because not only are you now responsible for like my personal training clients, but I'm now responsible for like the garbage and maintaining of the treadmills. And all of a sudden I had to market for members and I had to figure out how to keep those members and I had to write sales copy and be the janitor. And it's a lot of stuff all rolled into one. And I got really burnt out. And so in 2020, I decided I just need to be done. And so I sold in 2020. And then I decided, well, what do I want to do now? So this is like pivot number 5 for me. And so I decided to combine my love of all things, which is health and fitness, love helping people with money, and I love talking about business ideas. So I decided to roll all of that into one, and now that is what I do, coaching online.
Oh my God, I love that. What a great journey. Yeah, definitely. That's a lot of pivots, which is amazing. And you just kept on reinventing yourself until you landed in the perfect combination of all of your different passions, which is so great. I love hearing that. Okay, so 2020 is you sold your gym and then you pivoted and combined all of those passions. And so what is the work that you're doing right now? Like who are you helping and working with at the moment?
Yeah, so at the moment, I am doing some nutrition and health coaching with a group of women who are looking to lose, kind of like looking to lose that last 10 pounds. And really, they just want to feel better. They don't maybe necessarily have a number on the scale that they want. They just really want to learn how to feel their best and live their healthiest and longest life possible. So I've got that group of women I'm working with. And then I also work with women and men in my Money Freedom Group, which is a 30-day coaching program that really helps you transform your money mindset. And we even go into things on like budgeting and my signature money pillars. So it's a really comprehensive 30-day money course.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So that's great. So you're still serving, some different communities in different ways, but all in like the stuff that you're really passionate about. So that's cool. Let's talk about the money mindset. Let's dive
Yeah.
into that because that is such a great topic. I mean, first of all, I'm wondering about if we should talk about what you mean by money mindset. Like we definitely hear this term being tossed
Mm-hmm.
around. And I'm not sure that, everybody is always totally clear on what it actually is. So tell us from your perspective, what are we talking about when we say money mindset?
Yeah, so from my perspective, money mindset is all about going from a lack mindset to one of abundance. It does not mean how much money you currently have now. And it doesn't mean just making vision boards upon vision boards. What it means is
Mm.
truly changing your mindset to go from one of lack to one of abundance so you can start looking at your money in a different way.
Okay, that's perfect. Yes, I love that. It's like released from, it's not about the number or the amount that's in your bank account or any of
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. I also like how you framed it like it's more of a journey than anything else, right? Going from
Yes.
that lack mindset to a feeling and a place of abundance. And so it's not a destination, it's more like being on that journey.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, very cool. So tell me about, where do you think that women, because I mean, we know there's a lot of pitfalls and a lot of stuff that comes up for women, especially around money. Like, where do you think that people go wrong with their money mindset, especially coaches, especially entrepreneurs, and perhaps especially also people who are in the wellness space?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we don't learn about money ever, basically. Like,
Mm.
it's not talked about. It's viewed as something you don't talk about publicly or socially or with anybody really. And so all we basically learn about money is what our parents showed us. So if your parents had a lack mindset or your parents were always in scarcity or maybe didn't have a lot of money or fought about money, then you're going to have a lack mindset around money or you're going to feel bad about money. And that's what most people live with, right? And they don't realize that you can change this. When you get into owning a business, whether it's a brick and mortar or in the online space, you just carry that from your personal life into your business life, and then it can affect your business as well. Because all of a sudden, if you're constantly thinking, I don't have enough money in the bank, then you're also thinking, I don't have enough clients. And then when you do talk to a client, a prospective client, you sound very like needy, like, oh my gosh, I need this person because if I don't get this person, I'm not going to be able to make, the payment, and I need to make my bills and all of this and that. And it's like you're putting all of that onto that person, and that person can feel that. And then they're like, I don't want to work with you because you kind of sound like needy, because then you come across as needing that, right? As opposed to coming across as you wanting to serve and help that person.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, that kind of desperate energy that
Mm-hmm.
definitely seeps through. Like it I mean, if it's there, if it's under the surface, it's totally going to seep through in your language and the way that you're talking to people. And that like I do find, I mean, I believe that the scarcity mindset or the lack mindset, it's kind of our default position, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's the prevailing notion in our society. It's what we all grew up with, and not just like our parents, but also like media and culture,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just kind of like it's the default. So it really seems to me like it takes actual effort, like intention and effort, to shift yourself out of the default of scarcity mindset and more into that abundance mindset. So, how would people recognize that they are living in this lack or scarcity mindset?
Yeah. So think of the words you use. So if you say like money is hard to come by, or I never have enough, or if you cringe when you pay the bills, or even when I say the word money, how does your body react? Does it feel like it constricts, or it's like your shoulders want to kind of like crouch in, or do you feel like expansive about it? Most people contract when they hear the word money. That means that you're living in a lack mindset. And being in a lack mindset with money is just like being in a lack mindset with your health and fitness. And it's just a habit that you have to get out of. So, since most of you are in the health and fitness field, if you tell your clients, instead of eating potato chips, maybe reach for an apple. It's the same thing with your money mindset. Instead of saying I don't have enough money, say I have all the money I need. So it's just shifting the verbiage you're using and shifting your thoughts when you recognize them into something of more abundance and a more positive energy that will flow into you. And again, it's a habit, so it takes a while and nobody's perfect. So just choose again. So every time you say something and you think, wait, that's not what I wanted to say, choose new words and just forget the old pattern that you've said.
Right. That's so important. I love that about that it's a habit, right? Because in the beginning, of course, it's not going to feel natural. Like when you just said, replace that with a more empowering statement, like, I have all the
Mm-hmm.
money I need. I mean, in the beginning, it's going to be pretty hard for people to believe, right?
Yes.
But the more that you practice that, then the more you're going to start to believe your own self-talk and believe your
Mm-hmm.
own words. Right. So, okay, well, so if we've got some clues of like how to identify if you're living in lack, and because you really have to pay attention to it, because it's just going to be
Yes.
operating unconsciously until you
Correct.
actually start to tune in. But
Mm-hmm.
then, like, so what are some other things that people can do? Like, let's say somebody is like, okay, I have identified and realized that I've actually so much of my language and so much of my decisions are based in lack. What else can I do to start to shift into a more abundant mindset?
Yeah, so some quick things that you can do is actually take a piece of paper and write down all of the words you currently use with money. So, for example, money is hard to come by. I never have enough money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Then on the other side of the paper, you're going to write the opposite of that. So you would write, I have all the money I need. Money comes to me easily. And you're just going to write that down. And then all you're going to do is fold that piece of paper over and you're just going to read the positive sides over and over and over again. And every time you start saying those negative phrases, you just look at that sheet and start saying the positive phrases over and over. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is books. I think
Mm.
books and podcasts are the easiest and least expensive way to start changing your mindset and really help your self development, because reading books can help you identify, well, what do I say, or what area do I like or not like I've read a whole slew of money mindset books, and there's some that I really like and I that resonate with me, and others I don't really like those ideas, so I just don't use them. So just start reading and listening to podcasts, pick and choose what tips are going to work for you and start doing that. And then number 3 is journaling. So, really journal your feelings about money and journal about how you want to feel. Because how you want to feel is what you want to embrace, not how you're currently feeling. And then number 4 is to start writing out your dream life and what you want that to look like. And then who does that person have to be? So, for example, if your dream car is like a BMW and you're right now driving around like, I don't know, an old, beat up Toyota, well, who is the person that drives the BMW? Like, what kind of clothing do they wear? How do they act to other people? What does their daily life look like? You need to become that person now in order to start opening your mind up to how that abundance can come into you so that you can purchase that BMW.
That's great. I love that. That's very powerful. And so, well, I want to go back to the book and podcast idea. Is that I know, of course, it's like you said, different books are going to speak to different people, but is there
Mhm.
a book that you particularly recommend that you think is really like gives a really solid foundation in that money mindset that people could start with?
Oh, yeah, I have a couple. So It's Not Your Money is a great book. That's much more on the spiritual side. So if you're into like spiritual, do that one.
Mhm.
You're a Badass with Money by Jen Sincero is like
Sincero, yeah.
yeah, hands down the best book.
I love
Um,
that one. I love
yes,
Jen Sincero. She's so great.
she's so funny, and the way she writes, I just feel like is so down to earth, and everyone can relate to it. So those would be the two I would recommend, kind of depending on where you're at.
Okay, that's great. That I'll put a link in the show notes too to those two books for people, so that they can get started. Because yeah, it's still great. Like in such an easy, immediately accessible way to start really taking a deep dive
Hmm.
into like money mindset and the kind of impact that it can have. So I'm thinking like there might be some listeners who are thinking, okay, well, this sounds great, and I'll start working on that maybe sometime. But talk to me about like why this is so important and why it's actually important to work on it now, not like waiting until maybe you've got some more money, or like talk to me a little bit about the importance and the power of shifting your mindset.
Yes. So if you don't start to shift your mindset now, you're never going to get the money or the lifestyle that you want later. Because if you always stay in the lack mindset, you have a hard time opening yourself up to new adventures that might bring in more abundance for you. So, some examples. If you are in lack mindset and you're thinking, I can't ever make money, I don't know what I'm going to do, and then invertly, you also have a hard time bringing clients in, right? It's because like you sound desperate and you really want that client, and they realize that, and that kind of puts them off. So then you're constantly in this cycle of never getting your clients in. And it's because you have that lack mindset. If you can switch your words and if you can start to be more of an abundance mindset, maybe those clients still aren't coming in, but maybe you can have a more abundant mindset and you can think, well, how else can I make money? Maybe you're thinking, maybe my verbiage isn't correct. Maybe I want to work with a different niche. Maybe I don't like fitness coaching. Maybe I just want to focus on nutrition, or maybe I want to do some passive income and do a network marketing business on the side. So when you release the lack mindset and start opening yourself up to abundance, you're also opening yourself up to new opportunities and possibilities of different ways money can flow to you.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. And I loved your ideas. I think you also said it a few minutes ago too about like that kind of like stepping into the identity even before it's
Mm-hmm.
actually your reality, right? Like it's kind of like that acting as if feeling.
Yes.
Um, yeah, because I think that a lot of people, I mean, I know that I used to think this too, like way back, is like you think, okay, well, money mindset is great. And once I have some money, then I'll, have this more empowered viewpoint
Mm-hmm.
about money. So let me just go out and earn some money and then I'll feel better about things. But this is completely backwards, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because if you think, well, when I have money, then I'll behave like that, the money's never going to come to you. So if you can start embodying the person you want to be once you have the money, now that does not mean you're going to go out and spend like $5,000 on like a new handbag because that person would do that. But maybe you can buy a handbag that looks similar to what you might buy when you have $5,000. Or maybe you can cut out a picture of that handbag and look at it and embody the feelings of what it would feel like to have that handbag. It's really all about your feelings. And if you can get yourself into like a high vibration state so that you can act like you're living that life now.
Right. And showing up in the world like you are
Yes.
already there, right? Because it just influences your decisions, your actions, the way that you, yeah, show up and interact with people. I definitely find that one of the ways that, a money or a lack mindset can show up for, especially for new coaches and new entrepreneurs, is investing in themselves. Do
Mm-hmm.
you find investing not just in themselves, but like in their business, right? Like invest, it's sort of like investing in their future.
Mhm.
But do you find that, or have you seen that yourself?
Yes, I think a lot of people are afraid to invest money in themselves and or in their business because they think they're not going to get a return on that investment. But I will tell you, the only return on investment you ever have 100% of getting is when you invest in yourself and or your business, because you are the only one to blame if you don't do the work to get yourself, to up level yourself. Whereas if you invest in stocks, for example, that's kind of out of your control. You don't know if you're going to get money back or if you're going to lose money. So every time I invest in myself through, maybe buying a new coaching program or working with a new coach, I always try to stretch myself with the money. So maybe I'm looking at a new coaching program and I'm thinking, oh, that's a little bit more than I want to spend. But what I look at is this the right coach for me? Is this coach giving me a tool or something that I currently maybe don't have or something I need to work on? If yes, then I am going to pay that extra money, even though I might feel like it's a stretch for me, because I know that will make myself up level. That means I'm not going to miss a single call with that coach. I'm not going to miss a single homework assignment with that coach. I'm going to up level myself, because if I just paid $10,000 to be in a program, I'm going to show up like that person that has an excess of $10,000 to spend on that program.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I love
Mm-hmm.
that. It's so true. Like you're going to show up and make good on that investment. Like it's because
Mm-hmm.
then it's under your control. I think that Jen Sincero said a lot of stuff along those lines too in
Mm-hmm.
her book about like, whenever she made a big investment and then she knew that she was going to it literally meant that she was going to show up and do whatever it took to earn that investment back and then some, like get her
Mm-hmm.
true return on investment, because it's completely in your power. But none of that is possible if you're not actually making that investment in the first
Right.
place, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And think of it, I mean, it's just like your, health and fitness clients. If you're if you're giving them like a free workout versus maybe you give them a workout and charge them $199, the people you give it to for free, they're not going to show up. Like, I know this. I've been in that space before. They don't take it seriously. They don't care because it's free. But then if the ones that paid 199 for it, they show up and they do the work and they put in, the extra effort it takes because they value that more than the people that got it for free.
Yeah, that's such a good example, like to really think of it from like the perspective of your own clients, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
that, think about it from their shoes and what helps to facilitate them having that transformation. The same exact rules apply to you if you're trying to achieve things and hit new levels in your own business. So, yeah, so important. What other kind of thought processes or belief systems show up, or thoughts that people have that are really common and demonstrate an abundance mindset?
So in my coaching programs, we talk about budgeting, and a lot of people do not like talking about budgeting because it makes you feel in lack, right? Like, I'm going to look at my money and then I can't buy something with it. So what you kind of have to do is reframe your thinking around budgeting. What budgeting really is just seeing how much money you have and how do you want to spend that money. So it's prioritizing your money. It's not letting you spend money, but you are prioritizing do you want to spend your money on. So typically there's three big things you want to spend your money on, and that's how you should spend your money. Because if you spend it on emotional purchases, it's the same thing as emotional eating. So think of when you tell your clients you don't want them to emotionally eat, do you? Well, you shouldn't emotionally buy things then either. So when you're looking at your budgeting, remember that you want to prioritize the money that you spend on things that bring you joy, whether that is experiences or whether that is, actual tangible things. You have to decide that. And then every time you make a purchase, you run it through. Is this going through one of my three pillars, so to speak, I call them? Will this bring me joy? Or is this just immediate gratification like ice cream is to your clients?
Yeah, that's helpful. So those three pillars that you mentioned, are those unique to each person? Like, do everybody has a different set of priorities that are aligned with them, or are there like
Mm-hmm.
common categories?
No, I mean they are individual to you, and
Mhm.
but generally people pick very similar things. So I can give you some examples. So like in my
Sure.
coaching group right now, majority of people have picked paying off business debt and then either saving for a bigger house or remodeling a current house and travel. So those are kind of like the three that are very common. But again, this does flow with each individual as to, what makes the best sense for you. So now every time you're going to spend money, you want to run that through your three pillars. So say you're like at Target and you're like, oh, I want to buy a new shirt. And you're like, okay, well, is it for travel? No. Well, is it for a house? No. Well, is it going to help me pay off my business debt? No. Okay, then you probably don't need the shirt because let's be real, you probably have like 50 shirts at home that all look similar to that one. So you don't need the shirt. It's just like you don't need the ice cream.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great framework. Okay, right. So, but it comes back to sounds like it comes back to being intentional about what is the most important thing for you and just being really clear about it in your own
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Yes. It's being intentional. And also, when you have those three pillars, it not only helps you budget, but it helps you stay in your lane. Because with social media, it gets very easy to get distracted and to wish that you had things that other people have. For example, if all of your friends are out buying boats and you see that on social media and you think, how come I can't buy a boat? Like, who am I over here sitting here? Like, I don't have any money, or what's going on? All these people have boats. I don't have anything. But then it's like, is that a priority to you? Because for me, it's not. I don't want a boat. Now I live in a river town. Literally everyone here has a boat. I'm like, great for you. I'm friends with y'all. I'll just sit on your boat because I don't want a boat. Right. So it keeps you in your lane, and then you can just remind yourself that's their priority. It's not mine. And you can be happy for them.
Yeah, that's good. Because I mean, yes, the keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing. So I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
all see what everybody else is sort of, doing with their lifestyle and, of course, with social media and all of that kind of thing. So that can be very confusing and sort of pull you off of what your true priorities are. So I love that you've got that framework of how to know what's important to you. And it's just kind of like a guiding principle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's awesome. I love it. So, tell us, what are you working on right now, Lisa? Like, what's your current offer or like maybe a project that you're really excited about?
Yeah, so I'm actually launching another round of the 30-day money freedom course. And this is generally for business owners who want to go from that lack money mindset into one of abundance. So we meet once a week, and actually one of the weeks that we meet is all about your business and how you can start to make more money in your business. So it's a great program. The links will be in the show notes to it if you want to take a peek at it.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So, who's the perfect person for that program? How would somebody know if this is right for them?
Yeah, this is the perfect program for you if you are a business owner and if you really feel like you're struggling with money and you don't know how to get out of it. Maybe you've read some of the books and you've done the mantras and you're like, it's just not working. This will really help you break it down how exactly to go from that lack mindset into one of abundance. And then like I said, in week 4 we talk all about business ideas and how you can start to grow your business and make more money.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Definitely
Yeah,
put
it's
that
good.
in the show notes for sure. Yeah, it sounds so fun. Okay, great. So we are just about out of time, and this has really been awesome. I absolutely love talking about all of this stuff. I think I could talk about money mindset all day.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me, Lisa. But before we go, so where can our listeners go to learn more about you and your work? Like, where's the best place for people to connect with you?
Yes, you can check me out on my podcast, High Vibe Money Tribe, or in my Facebook group, High Vibe Money Tribe.
Awesome. I love that name. Very catchy. Very cool. Okay.
Right.
So, yeah, awesome. I'll put those in the show notes too. And then people can go and check you out and see about this new coaching program that you're launching again, this 30-day, because that sounds really awesome. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. This was really great.
Thank you so much for having me on. And just a quick reminder to everyone to open your mind up to new and exciting opportunities because you never know what will present itself.
All right, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed listening into my conversation with Lisa, and I hope it helped to open your mind just a little to the incredible power and beauty of an abundance mindset. And, maybe it gave you some ideas on how to get started shifting out of the lack mindset that, like I said, is the default for so many people. And honestly, it will only hold you back. Okay, that's a wrap for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to hear your takeaways from today. Hop over onto Instagram, tag me and Lisa, and let us know what was one piece of advice that you found the most useful and that you're going to put into action right away. We would love to hear about it. Okay, have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again next week. Thanks so much for listening. If you are ready to build a coaching business that gives you freedom and flexibility and allows you to make a meaningful impact in the world, but you're not really sure how to get started or what you need to do to attract the perfect clients and grow your income, then let me be your coach. I would love to teach you my exact framework, my proven method for how I created a freedom-based business for myself and how I've helped dozens of clients do the same thing and create a life that is better than their dreams. Get started by heading over to drkimfoster.com/business training, and there you can sign up for my free online training called The 4-Part Formula for Replacing Your 9-to-5 Income with a Coaching Business You Love.